Alright, so for those of you guys who follow me on Instagram, this is just like a continuation from the live stream I did the other day. If you don't follow me, Snydertron3000, same name as the YouTube channel, easy to get to. Basically, in that live stream, if you didn't see it, I was driving over to the garage and the truck just quit. Just all of a sudden, nothing, lost all power. Obviously, I thought it was the fuel pump. That was the last thing I changed on it. You could hear the fuel pump running, which was super confusing. And after a little bit of investigation, what we think happened was the hose fell off the pump because I think I forgot to put a hose clamp on it. So fingers crossed that's what it is. We don't see any fuel leaking anywhere. So everything that we did in the last video, we're about to redo again. But practice makes perfect, I guess. Let's see if we can break our record. All right, so you guys already saw the bed coming off, so we're just gonna skip right past that and get to inspecting the fuel pump. All right, I'm sure I look sweaty and gross, but busting butt, got all the bolts out, things ready to lift up. Now just giving it the old strap on. Yeah, I don't know what else it could be for the pump to still run, not have any fuel pressure. It's not, hook came off over there. Yeah, I didn't see any leaks underneath anywhere, so it's not like a line burst or anything. It's gotta be that hose in the tank. All right, here's the moment of truth. Come on. Yep.
Blew it up.
Yep, there it is. And you know what's really odd?
What?
There's 2 hose clamps on it. No, I'm just kidding. Yep, there's the mistake. The hose just popped off, completely neglected to put a clamp on it. Higher flow fuel pumps put out too much pressure to not use a hose clamp. In case you guys didn't know that before. Now we got scientific proof. Alright, fuel pump's in, it's all connected. Now we just gotta test it a couple times, make sure that was the issue, even though we're pretty much 100% sure. Yeah. You gonna try and fire it up? Ow. That kinda hurt my ears in here. Crisis averted. Gold truck's running again. I'm a sweaty boy. Put it back together. The truck's all back together. That seems to be the issue. Once we got it apart, it's pretty obvious that that was the issue. It fires up, it runs good now. I would just, I think there's one more quick test we gotta do just to be 100% sure that that was the thing that was wrong with it. Questions and answers. But first, parts are starting to show up. Here's a boost gauge. Here's a map sensor. And technically, I think this would be the first ever mail time item. It's a couple stickers from Old Car Auto Guy. He's a really cool guy. Go check out his channel. He has a really nice Cordoba. And then these are time slips we just got back from taking the black truck to US 131 in Martin, Michigan. We only made 3 passes on it, basically just to kind of baseline to see what it does, bone stock. I think you guys should guess below what you think it ran, ET mile an hour, and the closest one will get a thumbs up from me. I don't know. I don't have anything to give away. You don't want anything I have. Except answers to some of your questions I posted on Instagram and on YouTube. And there were a lot more than I was expecting, so I'm just going to try to rapid fire through these so I can answer as many as I can quickly. So I guess let's just get right into it. We're going to start off on Instagram. What do you do outside of YouTube? Any full-time jobs? Basically I just work on vehicles and motorcycles for people out of the garage. Anything done to the rear diff on the Sierra? Planning on turboing mine. The only thing done to the rear end of my truck is it has 410 gears and an eBay limited slip. It was like 250, 260 bucks. It's holding up really well. What about wheels and tires? What would you like to see on the truck? I'm fine with the ones that are on it. In a perfect world, I'd like to do 15s on the back and some nice, like, race stars or something. I like how those look and they're pretty cheap compared to, like, welds. What's your favorite tool? Probably just the one God gave me. Also, does your wife or girlfriend get pissed that you work on stuff too much. My wife, her name is Jess. We've been married almost 2 years now. I don't think she gets pissed. I think she just gets frustrated that I can't like flip a switch and turn it off. I am constantly thinking about vehicles and motorcycles and stuff. Like all of my free time, I'm just reading stuff on different forums. I try to learn as much as I can because I feel like the more you learn, the more you realize that you don't know that much. Any future builds you're thinking of doing for the YouTube channel? I'm always thinking, there's probably like 30 different builds that I have concocted in my brain right now. What builds have you done in the past? What did you like and dislike? And what would you have done differently? I've worked on a lot of things. I've had a lot of vehicles. I think it's probably getting pretty close to 40 vehicles now. I keep a running list. I built a 1962 Galaxie 500. Not really a frame-off restoration. I never took the body off the frame, but it was a really good restoration. Took the time to completely do the body work, like months of body work, and painted it, made it nice, completely redid the interior, headliner, reupholstered the seats, like pulled the dash out, painted the dash. Like as soon as I got it as close to perfect as I thought I could get it, I lost interest in it. Do I plan on removing the door molding on those trucks? Not really, because right now I think they're a good distraction of how bad the body actually is on them. It kind of keeps the eye from going too far and really looking at the rocker panels. So if the bodies were better, I totally would. Horsepower goals for the 88. Well, after tonight, I realized it needs a lot more, like a lot more. What's the fastest speed I've ever gone on a vehicle and on a bike? In a vehicle, the fastest speed is 140, and that was actually recently on a closed road, recently in the Focus ST. That thing would just, from a roll, from like a 30 or 40 roll, just drop it into second, and that thing just builds boost, and it just, man, that thing just cruises. And on a bike, I think like 120 on like an 83 Kawasaki KZ650. It was like 110, 120, something like that. That was terrifying. Are you gonna put headers on the 88? We're still trying to figure out a for sure plan. What's your favorite body style of Chevy and why? My favorite body style just of all time, that's really hard, but if I had to choose one, it would be like a 59 or 60 El Camino. Just the lines on that thing are so perfect. Do you daily your gold truck during the winter? Yeah, actually I did last year. Let's do a run with my Yukon versus the step side. Who do you think would win? Probably you. I don't know. The truck's not very fast. Can you name all the vehicles you've owned? Yes, I can, because I keep a running list and rank them from favorite to least, and maybe throw in a couple stories about each. That would take way too much time, because like I said, the list is getting pretty close to 40 vehicles now. But my favorites, the 62 Galaxie. This isn't in any order, this is just some of my favorites. The 62 Galaxie, I had a 74 Datsun 260Z. I never finished that car. I sold that to finish the Galaxie actually, which just broke my heart. I rebuilt the motor on it, did the cooling system. I was just about to get to some of the body work and patch the floors on that thing. And then it came down to either finish the Galaxie or finish the Datsun, and I had to sell one to finish the other, so I put them both up for sale, whichever one sold first. I used that money on the other one. Datsun sold first. I had a 68 Beetle. That was a ton of fun. About 120 horsepower. If you pop the clutch just right, it would textbook paper slip wheelie. I've had 5 Mustangs. 4 of those were a lot of fun. I've had a lot of vehicles. What's the worst vehicle you've ever had to work on? There's been a few. It's not so much that type of vehicle, it's the clientele that bring me their vehicles don't take care of them. Like, you guys think my stuff's rusty. The stuff that I get brought is just, it would blow your mind. I'll have to post some more pictures on Instagram of some of the junk that gets brought to the garage. What was my first vehicle? My first vehicle technically was an 85 Mustang, but we sold that before I got my license, but I did actually drive it. Do I have any track time on Goldie? No, I do not. Do I have any videos of Goldie racing others? Not any video. The only race I've done with that is against my buddy Chris Snook's 2017 Dodge Cummins. and he beat me. Top 3 dream builds. 64 Impala, traditional lowrider. I don't know, I'd have to think about the other two. Drivability of a cam Silverado for daily driver. I drive my truck literally every day. Plans on upgrading the injectors to the upsized 8.1 Vortec ones. I actually, right here is a set of 60 pounders that came with the kit when I bought it. That was the last of the Instagram questions. Now we're gonna go to the YouTube questions. How many girls have you smashed? Actually, a girl smashed me once when I was completely unrelated. When I was 12, I got hit by a truck on my bicycle riding over to a friend's house. But to answer your question, the number would disappoint you, I think. From 1 to 10, how hard was it camming the truck? 10 being the hardest. 3, maybe a 4. Try the MSD 2-step, I would like to. Any plans on quarter-mile runs for the GMC? Well, maybe. Hang on, no questions, but this is good. Call the GMC the fuck-up truck. It's a very accurate name. Very hurtful name, but very, very accurate. How long did it take you to figure out the process of making a tune map for HB tuners? I'm still figuring it out. HB tuner, like, such a steep learning curve. What do you want the 2000 GMC to look like when it's done? Pretty much like it does now. You look like Taylor Ray. Dyno, quarter-mile, 1/8 mile for the GMC. I like how you specify GMC, but there's 2 of them, and you didn't specify which one. I'm assuming the gold one. We'll see. Any plans of a 4L80 swap? I have a 4L80. It's in the Mazda right now behind the 5.3. Will you ever supercharge or supercharge or turbo the OBS? We are definitely leaning towards LS swapping that and doing a turbo build. What's the favorite thing about working on cars? I think my favorite thing about working on cars is, like, in terms of building cars, just how much of a variety there is. What got you into working on cars? 100% my dad. He's had a lot of really, really cool cars. 66 GTO that he tells me all the time he regrets selling. There's this one story of, I think it was a 57 Chevy that he had. He didn't have the title for it, he was trying to sell it. This dude's like, hey, let me take it for a test drive. Takes it for a test drive, never comes back, lost the car. So definitely him. He's been a huge influence, and I think you can kind of see that in some of the videos. How much will it cost to get the rockers and cab corners done? I had a guy quote me $1,500 to do the cab corners and the rockers, and that was with him doing everything and buying everything, buying the sheet metal, cutting it out, welding it in, primer, paint, bodywork, all that, which I thought was a pretty fair price. When are you fixing the headliner? Because I just really don't care. Have I had any issues with the high failure rate electronics like the headlight switch, gauge cluster bulbs, and stepper motors? Not really. What's your dream truck? Man, there's so many. You know, honestly, probably this. Probably the Roadkill muscle truck, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, this is the coolest truck I've ever seen. Good thing I wore this shirt. Pero no se crea. You know, I took 4 years of Spanish and I remember very little of it. I'll get back with you on that. How much power do you plan to make with the boost? Probably around 500, 550 crank, which will be like in the neighborhood of 400 wheel horsepower. Not a ton, just enough to have plenty of fun with. Would you eat my bunghole? 20 bucks is 20 bucks. When are you pro charging the truck? Alright guys, we need to talk. It's not a turbocharger. It's not a pro charger. It is a Vortec centrifugal supercharger. And when am I doing that? Hopefully within the next couple weeks. Overall cost so far, before the supercharger, I'm assuming you're talking about the gold truck. Before the supercharger, I think it was right around $4,000 totally invested, which really isn't too bad. I paid $1,200 for the truck, and then so it's an extra $2,800 that I have into it. What's the best advice you could give someone who wants to start a YouTube channel similar to yours? Just flat out, just do it. Like, if you guys go back and watch some of my earlier videos, they are 100% trash. And honestly, I know this is super cliche, but if I can have the very, very moderate success that I've been having, you guys will do fantastic. Do you plan on taking the truck to the streets and run it? I definitely prefer doing stuff on the streets. It's just so much more convenient. Would you ever consider a T56 swap in the truck? No. I cannot find a T56 around me for less than like $1,500, and I don't care that much. What's your opinion on Dodges and Fords? Would you consider getting a diesel truck like a Duramax or Power Stroke? I would love to get a diesel truck. I think they're cool. The only problem is I cannot afford diesel repairs. I'm planning to swap out my 4.3 for a 5.3. Any advice? Manual trans setups? I can't really give you any like personal advice. I've never done that. As far as manual trans setups, I think the manual trans that came with the 4.3s was an NV 3500, and what I remember about those is reading that some of them can barely, I'm going to say some of them because no personal experience, some of them can barely handle the power of a stock 5.3, so when you get into modding it, they just like to blow up. But that's all hearsay. I have no personal experience with it. Are you going to do the 8.1 injector swap? Nope, got those 60 pounders. Since you plan on supercharging the truck, do you plan on upgrading the heads, mains? No. People are making tons of power with the stock heads. Bottom end, I have no plans on touching. I'm not going to run high enough boost to warrant gapping the rings. Intro billets on any of the cars. Is that a wheel? When are you going to do supercharged 3.8 on the Pontiac? When I have like $3,000 to spend, because those swaps are expensive. And have you ever owned an IROC Z 3rd Gen Camaro? I have not owned an IROC Z 3rd Gen Camaro. I have owned I think it was just a base 3rd Gen Firebird that had a 383 swapped in it. That thing just destroyed tires. New to the channel and I'm enjoying it. Keep up the great work. Thank you. My question is, what is your overall goal for both trucks? I just want them to be a lot of fun to drive. Will you run open PVC or catch can? I run opens and it does great. I'll probably just leave it alone. How old were you when you got your first car? My first car was that 85 Mustang, and I think I was 12 or 13 at the time. Your lowering kit from Air Slam It, I looked at it. Don't worry about the Air Slam It thing. I just went on eBay and searched 2000 GMC Sierra 4.6 drop and went with like one of the better looking ones that I could find. How to deal with haters? Honestly, haters like legitimately make me laugh because it's someone who's going so far out of their way to insult you that it's just super amusing to me. Like there's this one guy who will comment on some of my videos every now and then. I honestly cannot remember his name. It really amuses me that like the dude's constantly talking shit about me, but yet he keeps watching all the videos. So I don't know, they're all full of shit. I don't just don't worry about what they say. Let me get the step side. Alright. You got any videos of you doing a pull in the GMC before you started putting things on it when it was stock? No, I do not. Because I got that truck before I ever really started filming. There's some pictures of it when it's stock, but no video. Can you give my Instagram a shout out, please? At la_pinata505. And why don't you put supercharge instead of boost? Well, completely honestly, because boost is like slightly clickbaity, but I don't feel bad about it because it's not a lie. Superchargers make boost. I thought they were all push lock connect. The hose that fell off, I mean, obviously you saw already, but it was the one in the pump, not the ones that connect to the top of the tank. Will we ever see you take the GMC to the track half mile? Not half mile, no. And the final one, front end swap. Nope. I do not give one fuck about that. I'm sure this video went way longer because I tried to answer every question I saw, but that's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for the next video where we take the black truck to the track. In the comments, leave your best guesses for what the black truck ran. Thank you guys for liking, commenting, and subscribing. We'll see you next time.